Welcome back to the Personal Foul Podcast. I am your host, Colton Gesser. Alongside me is my co-host, Phil Sitta. Phil, how the hell are you?
I've been better. I got screwed by Notre Dame because they don't know how to kick a damn field goal last night, so I had to lose $50 to you, which made me sick.
It's great, and this is going to be the Make Fun of Phil show as far as I'm concerned. I'm very excited about it because Phil just can't make picks for shit. We have a segment that he thought of, shout out to him, but called it Beat the Genius, and he thought he was the genius. Little did he know I'm the genius on this show. Kick his ass in fantasy sports. I kick his ass in picks. And I just take money. I felt bad taking money from a guy like you yesterday. And by the way, I'm still waiting on my $50. So you know my Venmo.
You know where I live.
You can gladly just hit my Venmo.
Cash.
Oh, cash? That's fine. And I expect my 30-pack of beer too, because I am the winner out of me and you. I'm still battling Ray for the whole grand salami of the whole thing. So, oh man, another 30-pack on top of it. I was sitting on a 60-pack of beer and $50 from you. Oh, Phil, you're such a great guy.
First of all, it's not beer. You want Surfsides, all right?
You want Surfsides. Oh, even better.
Surfsides are not beer. That's for what the losers like Jim Sloan drinks, all right? For you to call that beer is sacrilege.
No. I know I want
a 30-pack of hams. That's what I'm going to get you. Hello, Ray Trimble. How are you today?
Oh, and Ray. Well, you know what? We'll start off with this before we get into the NFL. We'll start off with college football. We had the college football playoff final yesterday, so that's the most fresh in everyone's mind. You, Phil, and Ray were silly enough to take Notre Dame and add them to the picks. And with that mess up by you, Ray, I am now in pole position of the picks heading into the last few weeks of the NFL season. And oh boy, it's fantastic that I could be doubling up on Phil. I already got him in our one-on-one bet for a 30-pack. And I have another possible 30-pack come on my way. All thanks to you, Ray. And I appreciate you jumping on Notre Dame, you sore losers. And speaking of Notre Dame.
Please, you had a missed field goal from 10 yards out. That's the only reason why you covered. Stop.
By the way, a field goal that Marcus Freeman should have never kicked, by the way, in case we're wondering.
No, he shouldn't have. That was terrible coaching. I have to give you that.
So Notre Dame loses to Ohio State. Your Big Ten, by the way, back-to-back national champs out of the Big Ten. So you can kiss my ass as far as
you can take that for what you want. An 8-seed won. A team that lost to Michigan at home, an unranked Michigan at home.
Yep.
And that's your national champions, please.
They were the best team.
They
were the best team in the country. It's not even a question. Jeremiah Smith.
They didn't play Alabama. They didn't play Miami.
It's okay. They would have lost.
No, we got Boise State, and we get that other slag team, Clemson. Those teams never should have been in there to begin with, and you know that. They were not the better teams. You're telling me they were the 12 best teams? No, stop. Come on.
But the thing is, you say Alabama should have been in there. That same Alabama team that started their starters against Michigan lost, in case you're wondering, again. So, no, Alabama shouldn't have been in.
Who the hell gives a damn?
It doesn't matter. They still played their starters. Like, Jalen Milroe played. All their big guns played in that game. So, like, I don't want to hear that. Like, oh, it's a bowl game. Congratulations. They all played. They all played. So make fun of your Big Ten all you want. Notre Dame lost.
The Big Ten is ruining college sports.
The Ohio State Buckeyes are the best team in the country. Hate to say it as a Michigan guy, but it was great beating them. So they didn't beat Michigan. They didn't win the Big Ten because of Michigan. So
you're national champions. It was great. You're going to all year next year, whether you like it or not.
It's not going to bother me. They got to beat Michigan. They haven't beat them.
I want to know how the hell Day, who almost got fired after that Michigan loss, all of a sudden comes around and wins a national title. It's such a disgrace. It really is.
They should have blown out Michigan this year, but the problem is when he sees that maize and blue, Ryan Day tries playing the tough guy game and playing with Michigan in the run game. That's not what Ohio State is. Ohio State's got elite talent on the outs. They have if Jeremiah Smith went in the draft this year, he's the number one receiver, and it's not a question. He's the top 3 pick in the NFL, just like Marvin Harrison was last year. So wait till he's eligible. He's going to be – yes, but he's still the best receiver. He's probably the best player in the country right now in college football, Jeremiah
So
Smith.
does somebody at LSU better.
Jeremiah Smith is the best player in college football. But Ohio State, again, I thought they were the best team. I thought it was very easy for them.
You got to tip your hat to them. Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame, that's another team that never should have been there. They lost to – who the hell did they lose? Northern Illinois at home, and they played nobody this year. And they lucked into Penn State, who can never win a big game when it matters. I mean, an absolute atrocious.
Well, I said it to you last week that Texas-Ohio State was the national championship game. Just like it was the year before.
No,
Michigan,
said that.
With Michigan, Alabama.
Said that, and that shouldn't be in the college game.
Well, it's back-to-back years that's the case.
Well, it's not 12 teams like it was this year.
Yeah, but it was the same result, though. Like, the games leading up, the semis were the national championship games because Michigan, Michigan, Alabama was the national championship.
You didn't have the top 4 teams this year. I think one was in the top 4, Texas, right?
Yeah, Texas. Yeah, but you're telling me Ohio State's 8? No, Ohio State's a top 5 team in the country.
No, they weren't. They lost to Michigan at home. I can't put them as a top 5 team.
It's a rivalry game. You could throw that out the window.
No. Oh, well, then you got to throw out the Syracuse game with Miami because that was a rivalry game, and they didn't get in.
Miami should have been in. Syracuse was very good. Syracuse had a very good season.
They ranked at the end of the year.
They should have been in. Yeah, Miami should have been in. We both
really got
the system's a joke. The fact that you had that many ACC teams.
Yeah.
The fact that you had that many ACC teams in the playoff was a disgusting disgrace.
Yeah, and none of them Miami.
They got to fix it. It's that simple. You put the best players in, and Cam Ward is going to be probably the first overall pick. And the fact that he wasn't in the game is kind of silly to me. But hey, what do I know? But again, Ohio State takes care of Notre Dame. Notre Dame showed fight early in the game. They go down, Riley Leonard running all over Ohio State. They punch it in. And then right after that, it was all Ohio State. I know late, you almost had the backdoor cover from Notre Dame. The game was never close. It was all Ohio State.
They scored in the first 4 drives. Game was over.
That's what I'm saying. The game was over.
That's not what college football needed.
Yeah, but like I said, it's back-to-back years of the semis being the final. Yeah. Ohio State, Texas, we knew the winner was coming out of that game. Like Notre Dame had no shot in it.
Yeah, just like
same thing with Michigan, Alabama last season. Whoever won Michigan or Alabama was winning the national championship. Ended up being Michigan. They won the whole thing. So same thing with this one. But now we'll take a look at the NFL. Again, before we go there, make sure you're following us and subscribing on our channels below. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Personal Foul Pod, and follow us on Facebook, Personal Foul Podcast. Please make sure you like those and subscribe and share them everywhere. Anyone you know, please share them. It helps us greatly. So appreciate everyone. Now let's take a look at the NFL. What do you got, Phil?
Funny, right?
What are you saying, Phil?
That was funny. Ray Trimble, his last comment there. Just like all states, he had good hands. Speaking of which, I got my All-State shirt on because I had to work late today. I was not happy about that. But let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk about the absolute dogfest games we had again this weekend.
I'm going to start off with the first game. And by the way, I'm so sick and tired of the officials in this league stroking Mahomes dry. I got he's the best quarterback in the league, but the loving of Mahomes and the extra flags are just ruining this game. Cost Houston. Houston was in that game, and if they don't get the 2 awful penalties, the hit out of bounds and the roughing the passer, this game's very different, I think. Kansas City wins, whatever. I think this game's different if those penalties don't happen. They were drive killers for Houston's defense.
I think the game would be different. I don't think Houston's winning. Let's not kid ourselves. You're going to tell me in a tight game that Stroud's not going to hold that ball, that ice cold ball a little bit tighter and maybe throw a game-ending interception or something like that? No, I don't see it. Yes, the calls helped, but I don't think it affected the game. Kansas City's winning.
You don't know, though. That's the thing. The officials have ruined a lot this season with penalties or none of throwing of penalties. It's I don't understand how the league's this crap. Was that the game with the face mask penalty? Was that game? Or was that the Lions game?
That was the head-to-head hit that they didn't call, and then the flop out of bounds.
Yeah, the head-to-head.
Anderson was accused of hitting Mahomes in the head, and he didn't. And I don't know why they can't replay these calls. I mean, NFL is going to be getting to that point where they're going to have to start replaying these because both of those calls were atrocious, and both should have been replayed. And you're not allowed to instant replay them for some reason. The game clock.
Yeah, well, I think they're definitely going to change that, especially with face mask penalties. There's been a lot of face mask penalties missed and called that shouldn't have been called. That's what I was saying, because I think it was the Lions game. I'm trying to remember what game it was. There was a face mask penalty called, and it wasn't a face mask. Like, it looked weird, like it was a face mask.
Oh, yeah, he turned his head. That was the Lions game, yes.
I think it was Montgomery on the run. But, yeah, I don't understand how they keep messing these up. I don't get it. But, yes, just like Sasso229 said down there, appreciate you commenting down there on YouTube. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. You'll never know. You'll never know how the game ends. And that's what's unfortunate, that if those calls aren't made, you don't know how the game's different. I think the game's different. Sure, I still think Kansas City probably wins. I think it's a lot closer, though. And, like, again, here we are complaining about some of the games. Like, that game's closer if the refs do their jobs correctly. And they didn't, sadly, in another game.
Yeah.
So now we'll head to the night game and the stunner of the week. And I told you, I had a weird feeling that Washington.
I told you that. I told you so.
Yeah, I know. I'm the genius. I know, Phil. It's okay. I'm not here to kick you while you're down. I'm the genius. You're not.
Never wear the helmet.
Yeah. Well, you're. There's a reason why you're wearing that helmet.
You should wear a brown paper bag over that ugly head of yours. That's what you need.
Some would say that'd be you. But hey, I'm not here to kick on you. Don't want to kick on the elder statesman here on the podcast. But hey, man. So we'll head to the Motor City next. And I told you I had a weird feeling about this game. I wish I had like money to spend in my life. Like, again, with the wedding, I don't got money to just throw away. I had a weird feeling the Commanders could win this game. I ended up taking the Commanders on the spread. I actually did win a little bet, $5 parlay for 115 on Saturday night. Thank you, Washington Commanders. But Commanders win. Jaden Daniels is the real deal. And this is what happens when you get a quarterback in this league that changes your franchise. And that is Jaden Daniels and what he's done with the Commanders. And by the way, they got one receiver. Like, it's Scary Terry, and that's it. You have an old Zach Ertz. You have Damani Brown, which, again, if I were to name that, like that thing, which I love with the guys with TNT, the NBA crew, where they've named random NBA players. And what team is this guy on? If I were to name you I think it's Diami Brown, and you tell me what team he's on, you would never know he's on the Commanders. Like, he's throwing to a bunch of nobodies. That's guy to Terry McLaurin. Yeah, this is impressive what Jaden Daniels is doing. I got to tell you.
Well, let's get to the crux of the problem. And it was the Detroit defense, which was absolutely atrocious. Okay, I know they've had injuries all year long, but you cannot be at home rested up for a week and have 44 dropped on you by a rookie quarterback. And this goes back to the Jets. Yes, my hatred of the Jets is going to shine through right here. Why? Because Aaron Glenn is a defensive coordinator, and he is a bum. He's always been a bum for the Jets. He's been a bum wherever he went. He was a bum in Houston, and now he's a bum defensive coordinator. You want the Jet fans, oh, yeah, we got to have Glenn for our head coach. Please take him. You know why? Because he's trash. He's Jet trash. That's how it's always been. Bring him over there. Bring the rest of all the losers over there for the Jets, okay? Because everyone who's been a Jet has been a loser, okay? Rich Kotite has been a loser. Joe Klecko has been a loser. Mark Gastineau has been a loser. Brett Favre has been a loser. And Aaron Rodgers is a loser. And everyone associated with the Jets are losers. And that's why Detroit lost, because you put your faith in a bum who is a loser. Gang Green is garbage. Hell, they even play in a garbage can. Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Aaron Glenn, you stink. I would never want you as a head coach after what you did last week. To getting demoralized by a rookie quarterback with one wide receiver and a bunch of bums on offense. Absolute trash.
Thank you, Phil. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Detroit just threw the ball too much. It's plain and simple. They just threw the ball too much.
They couldn't shut up Daniels. They had to throw the ball. They were behind right from the get-go.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have. I understand that, but you don't hit the panic button. In golf, just turn the ball over. Go blue, by the way. Mike Sanderson. Shout out Mike Sanderson.
Yes. Bum.
Yes, we have Mike Bauer in there. Mike Bauer finally on the right track as far as picks. We'll get to beat the genius in a little bit. We'll head to the city of brotherly love next, and that'd be the Philadelphia Eagles sneaking by the LA Rams. Phil, thoughts on the game?
I wouldn't say sneaking by. That was one of those games, and I even told your uncle this, that the Eagles were in control throughout the whole game. I never felt that the Rams had a chance at all, even at the end. I just had this zero feeling about the Rams. They played a lot closer than I thought. I thought they were going to get blown out as well. But it all falls in for Philly now. They get the Commanders coming in riding high off that big win, and they're going to flatten. And I mean, absolutely flatten Daniels and the Redskins. The Commanders. It stops here this week. I'm tired of this Commander rah nonsense. The Eagles are going to absolutely annihilate them. Hurts has to play better. He was rusty. He was off for 3 weeks. Saquon, he had a hell of a game. What can you say about the guy? Jalen Carter, he's been an absolute stud. He had that big sack in the fourth quarter to put the game away once and for all. Stafford, boy, he's starting to look old. I hate to say it. Cooper Kupp, where are you? I mean, he's non-existent now. What the hell how did he not use this guy anymore? He wasn't covered that much the entire game. They only threw to him 3 times. It's amazing how he's just fallen off the earth. The Rams have issues. The Eagles, get them ready for the Super Bowl. As far as I'm concerned, they are already in the Super Bowl. And they're going to beat Buffalo, but they're going to lose to Kansas City. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see when we get to the picks in a little bit. I think the Commanders could beat the Eagles, especially with Jalen Hurts banged up. I don't know if Mitchell, their rookie corner, is healthy, because I know they picked on the backup once he got hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Mitchell's health is. The kid out of Toledo that they drafted. I don't know, man. I think this game could definitely go to the Commanders' way. I'm looking at the spread now. I'm getting a little early peek before we get to beat the genius. I think the books also show you that. Sure, the Eagles are 3-point favorites. That's about it. So we'll get to that in a little bit. And it's 6, but they're home, so I think that's a 3-point game.
No chance.
We'll see when we get to the picks. We'll head into Sunday night, and that would be in Buffalo. The Bills. I gotta tell you, they had it looking good early. Baltimore came crawling back into it, and the Ravens probably should have ended up winning the game, but Lamar Jackson has a turnover problem in the big games. Awful turnovers for the Ravens. They lose. Josh Allen and company heading to Kansas City again, rematch Chiefs, Bills. But more on the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Do they Ravens have a Lamar problem?
A Lamar problem is what they have. I mean, you know what he did? He did this again. He choked. He choked big time on Sunday. Mark Andrews, you deserve a lot of the blame. That fumble and that drop pass, a 2-pointer. But Lamar also threw an interception, also fumbled the ball. They didn't use Henry enough. Buffalo, they showed me something. They came to play. They stopped Henry, which I did not think they were going to do. The other running back, was it Hill? He had a better game than Henry as far as I'm concerned. Lamar was just terrible in the big spot. And I don't understand. Harbaugh, what the hell are you doing? You have seen Buffalo long enough to know now that in 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2, Josh Allen is running the ball. How many times did we see him get a first down with his legs on Sunday? How do you not put a spy on him? There was no spy on him. I don't understand what the hell Harbaugh was doing. That was a complete failure from top to bottom on that Ravens team. And they don't belong. They absolutely stunk.
Yeah, he definitely did, Ray. Sorry to tell you, Lamar definitely choked. 3 awful turnovers. The fumble was inexcusable.
Yeah,
He's got a turnover problem in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. Lamar in a big spot. He's a problem.
Ball too tight.
By the way, why did they not just run Derrick Henry a lot more? It's like they got away from that so early.
I don't understand why they got away from Henry. That's on Harbaugh. Harbaugh blew that game. When you look at all the turnovers and this play and that play and everything, it comes down to Harbaugh. He did an atrocious job of coaching that game, especially on Allen, not putting a spy on him. I don't understand how you don't put a spy on Allen. The guy who's one of the leading rushers in football. Put a spy on him. It's not hard, especially when you got Patrick. Wait, is it Queen? No, not Queen. Smith. You got Roquan Smith as your middle linebacker. My God, spy him. Terrible. Just terrible, terrible coaching.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment. I can't believe we're here. We're at Beat the Genius.
That's right.
And we're going to start off with the NFC Championship game. Commanders at Philly. Spread is 6 for the Eagles. I'm taking the Commanders. I'm all in on the Jaden Daniels train. I'm hopping on the wagon of the commies. I just think Jalen Hurts is banged up. I think the Commanders' defense has played a hell of a lot better as of late. I really think they're going to win this game. A.J. Brown's a mental midget. Jalen Hurts, I don't know if you can rely on his arm a lot, and he's banged up going into this game. Yeah, you can give me the Commanders plus the 6 points. I think they win the game, and I think Jaden Daniels goes to the Super Bowl as a rookie quarterback. Phil, what says you?
I think that train gets derailed. I think Arnie Lauer's riding that train on NJ Transit, and it gets derailed because he dropped his black and mild on the floor. That's what's going to happen to that train. Philly's going to roll. They're going to steamroll all over Jaden Daniels. They got blown out in Philly earlier this year. I see they have no chance. And yes, right, I actually have it in my notes here. We are going to talk about the Dodgers and the deferred payments. No chance. Philly, take the -6. They win by double digits. The NFL has terrible playoffs this year, and I can see it this weekend as well.
We now head to oh, man, when you start talking about the Philly people, talk about the birds, the folks come out to defend. Saquon's a problem. I'll give you that.
Big problem.
I just think they're going to stop the run. They did it decently well against Detroit. I think they're going to stop Saquon.
Field day. Did you not see that game?
What are you talking about?
Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah, the game was over.
Oh, come on. Stop. Gibbs still had a big day. You think Barkley's not going to have a big day?
We'll see. We head to Kansas City. Chiefs Buffalo. Spread is 2. I can't believe I'm doing it. I'm riding with the Bills. Give me the +2. Give me the Buffalo Bills.
You're a damn fool. If you think both road teams are going to win this week, you're absolutely insane. No chance. And yes, Ian, a big F you to Joe Sliso because he sucks. He blew the picks again last week. Buffalo played an absolutely perfect game. Baltimore played one of the worst games I've seen them play in years. And still, they eked it out by 2 points. There is no chance in hell they are going to go to Kansas City to go against Mahomes, Kelsey, Taylor Swift, the NFL referees, and the rest of that team. There's no way they're going to go in there and win. I cannot see it. No chance. None whatsoever. Buffalo played their divine intervention game. You're going to tell me you're going to play back-to-back perfect games? Nah, it ain't happening. No way.
By the way, looking at the picks from Ray Trimble just now, if things go my way, if I somehow go 2-0, I will lock up the 30-pack, by the way. Worst case, we go to the Super Bowl. Oh, baby. I love it.
Go Eagles. Go Birds.
This is great. I love it. So, Ray, I see you in there with the picks. He's got Buffalo as well with the Eagles. Of course he does. Ian, we'll see what the Chiefs do. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier, Ian, with the penalties for favoring Kansas City. I don't know, but I know we got a lot of Eagles fans that watch this. Congratulations to you guys. We'll see what next week turns out. And yes, we're not going to log off yet. We're going to talk about the MLB because that is kind of seemed to be a big problem with folks around baseball. And I've seen kind of like a mixed bag. People are defending the Dodgers, like, oh, you're just jealous that your owner's not going out and signing players. The Dodgers can do this because Ohtani's money is deferred. So you have a top 2 player in baseball, and his money's not on the books, and they're not paying him. So they can go pay everybody else. That's a problem in baseball. They should not have been allowed to defer his payments.
The Dodgers have 1.3 billion, not million, billion in deferred salary. That's not on the luxury tax. And that is a huge problem. These other owners are going to get PO'd. I mean, you're telling me Pittsburgh, Oakland, Milwaukee, all these teams that can't wait for that deferred money, that tax money to come in, they're not getting it now because the Dodgers are writing everything off. I don't know why the hell the Yankees aren't doing this, because Cashman is a clueless ass. That's why. But this is a huge problem for baseball. It's one thing to defer the money. You've got to get taxed on this. The luxury tax should be counted one way or another. $1 billion, not $1 billion. You know how much tax revenue that's going to bring in that the Dodgers don't have to pay now? It absolutely has to be fixed. I mean, Tanner Scott going to the Dodgers now. The Japanese pitcher, we all knew he was going to go over there. He wanted to do a tour of the West Coast. He was going to the Dodgers all along. He's a fraud. I hope he blows out his arm as well. He has been injured. He's only 23. He's been injured 2 times already in Japan, and that's on 6 days. So God knows how the hell he's going to be like in what do you call it? Pitch on a 5-day schedule. And Toronto, what are you doing with Santander? You're paying this guy almost $100 million off a fluke 1 year. Are you that insane? You need pitching. You already have a great offense. You put another bat in there, another guy who strikes out 150 times a year. Terrible job by Toronto. I like what the Yankees have done this year. Unfortunately, Aaron Boone is still the manager, so they're not going to win anything.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Yes, Tanner Scott as well. The best closer on the market goes there. Sports in a bad way, and I'm telling you more and more I could give a rat's ass about baseball. I know we're going to talk about baseball when baseball season comes around full flow, but
absolutely,
man, I could tell you I'm getting more and more I could care less about baseball because the Dodgers literally have the best roster, and it's not even close. And the fact that it's allowed with the deferred payments is insane to me. Insane to me. And, like, sure, I agree with you. Other teams should be able to defer their money. Like, why aren't the Yankees doing it? I don't understand why they're not. But, it doesn't matter. It's still bull that they're allowed to do it.
Yes, and the Flyers are tied with the Rangers for 5th place. Yes, way to go there, Ray Trimble. My Islanders are still in last, though, but they stink. Baseball's got a huge problem. I think the CBA is up in 2 years, and you know that's going to be a sticking point. You may see a lockout for this because you got owner versus owner now. This is what's going to be interesting. And I don't know how the hell Manfred's going to fix this. Manfred is the commissioner of the NBA, of the MLB, for those who don't know. And he's going to have the high-end owners versus the low-end owners, and that he's going to have to try to fix. So I see a lockout on this one way or another. It's going to be ugly.
Works for me. No baseball. I can sleep at night.
No,
okay. Well, appreciate everyone for jumping on again today. I'm Colton. That's Phil. Appreciate everyone for tuning in.
By the way, real quick, what do you think of the Bears' new head coach?
Ben Johnson. I like the move for the Bears.
I love the move for the Bears. I think they got big time offense there next year if they draft an offensive line. They got running backs, they got receivers, they got the quarterback. I'm not in love with him, but I think Johnson can fix him.
The comments are great in this podcast. Gosh, you guys are something else. Well, yeah, we'll see what Ben Johnson could do with that team. But I'm Colton. That's Phil. Ray, we'll get to that a little bit next week because all we have is like one game to talk about. So we'll talk a little bit more about the NFL coaches and how that stuff works because I do agree with you. It is a problem. They shouldn't be allowed to interview while you have playoff games that you're still coaching for. I still think that's nuts because your mind's going somewhere else.
I agree.
We'll talk about that next week. I appreciate you, and you're not ignored. We'll talk about it next week with only 2 games to talk about. So we're looking at that next week.
I got to give LeBron props as much as I can stand him. And speaking of Nate, yes, Nate and my son JoJo think LeBron is the best ever. I don't know where you stand on this, but I think that's fraudulent. But he had a hell of a game. I watched the Net game over in LA last week. What a game LeBron had. There was no Davis. They only won by 1 point against the Nets. That shows how bad the Lakers are. But that man did a Dr. J dunk. Dr. J dunk. He almost went from the free throw line and jammed it home with authority. I was like, man, the guy's 40 years old. You got to give him some props. So
yes, LeBron is still that good. And yes, he is the GOAT. He can guard all 5 positions. MJ could not. And for the folks that say MJ or that
we got a show for you guys in the off season. When football's over, we can spend a half hour on this one. I can't wait.
Yeah, I know. Michael Jordan played a bunch of plumbers, so that's fine. Again, I'm Colton. That's Phil. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Congratulations to the Eagles fans in the chat. We'll see you next week. See how your birds do. We'll be back again next week, recapping the title games of the AFC and the NFC. See you next week, folks. Thanks again.
Have a good week.